For every reader, there's an equally quirky and nuanced way of rating her books. Some readers use a 10-star system, others use a 5-star system. Some readers like to give 0.5 ratings, others are more black and white with their numbers. We all use some kind of system to help us place our books in the proper spot on our shelves. So today I thought I'd take you on a trip through my own rating system and see how we stack up. Here in the Litiverse, I use a 5-star rating system with 2 additional subcategories that are used more as placeholders, but I'll get to that in a minute. I also avoid using 4.5s or 3.5s or any 0.5 book ratings here because I'm an all or nothing kind of gal when it comes to my book categories. 5-star books, in my mind, are few and far between on any given bookshelf. I am thrilled if I'm able to find one 5-star book over the course of my literary year, and I am absolutely floored if I manage to find 2. When I find myself jealously in awe of a writer's talent, I know I'm on the verge of a 5-star rating. If a book manages to make me cry or it shakes up my perspective on a given idea, I know I'm approaching 5-star territory. And if I find myself telling everyone I know to check out this book, whether they asked for my opinion or not, I know it's a 5-star. I guess this rating depends on how actively and aggressively I recommend a book to people. Basically, I will refuse to talk to my literary friends until they submit to my recommendation. Case in point, The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, and if you haven't read the book yet, then I suspend you from my account until you've done so. The majority of my book ratings fall into the 4-star category. To me, a 4-star book is a solid read, and if another reader were to ask me my opinion on a given title, I would give it a glowing review and I'd only have positive things to say. Generally speaking, I would protect this book's honor in a literary-themed duel. I think the difference here is that a 5-star book is one I need to talk to everyone about, whereas a 4-star book is one I need to be asked about. Subtle, I know, but that extra star comes with the full VIP package on my bookshelves. 3-star books are what I'd consider a good book. If another reader were to ask me for my review, I'd have a lot of positive comments to say, but I'd likely also have 1 or 2 issues with the way events were plotted, or with certain characters, or maybe with the pace of the dialogue, or any other mechanical issues of the book. I'm a little more cautious with 3-star books and would likely only recommend them to a reader who had a specific interest in that subject or like that specific fiction genre. 2-star books are pushing into darker realms for me. If a fellow reader wanted the lowdown on a 2-star book, I would pull no punches, but I'd likely have 1 or 2 redeemable qualities in mind. For example, I read The Flame Alphabet back in 2012, and while the idea of an airborne virus stemming from language was definitely intriguing, it read like a literary essay gone horribly awry. Cool premise, poor execution, therefore 2 stars. Which brings us to the elusive 1-star rating. I often wonder if I should have a 1-star book rating, because if the book was that bad, how could I have brought myself to finish it? If anything, a 1-star book rating represents an unnecessary commitment on my part, and some might argue screams of being a waste of time. For whatever reason, I decided to finish the book, and maybe I was hoping for a miraculous turnaround, I don't know, but I finished it. The last 1-star book rating I gave was back in 2010, so apparently I've grown a little more vicious when it comes to culling the herd. As for the 2 subcategories I mentioned earlier, these 2 ratings function more as placeholders. For starters, I've been using the letter B to represent bailed books, and I think that explains the sudden disappearance of 1-star ratings in the Litiverse. A bailed book is one where I read 1/3 or 1/2 of a book before I jump ship. I started adding bailed books to my reading list to remind me not to give these books a second chance, even if a fellow reader managed to convince me otherwise. There's a reason I bailed, and I ain't going back. The second subcategory is actually manga specific. I use NR, or not rated, on individual books in a series that I haven't finished yet. For manga, I wait until I finish the entire series before I attach a rating to it. I find that because manga is so quick to read, and because a lot of the series tend to have 20+ books to them, I tend to view a series as a whole as opposed to its individual parts. That being said, I've now started refining my ratings based on the #1 volumes I've been reading over the past couple months. Now I've started using red for series I don't want to continue, yellow for series I'm a little on the fence about, and green for series I definitely want to pursue. So the ratings continue to refine themselves, hurrah! So how about you? Do you use 10 stars, 5 stars, do you use 0.5 stars, do you use some other kind of arbitrary symbol? If your rating system is similar to mine or yours has its own quirks to it, please feel free to leave comments below because I'm really curious to compare our results here. On that note, signing off.